18th, who had a very good finish to her race. And I think Chill will be happy with that. She's only 1:10 off the leading time at the moment and the probable winning time. And Nowakowska in 33rd at the moment as well.
Zaitseva finished in 40th position. We saw that nearly 2 minutes. Horschler just going 15 seconds ahead of Zaitseva's time.
Tiril Eckhoff, good shooting score from her, and as a result she gets a very, very respectable position, just pushes Chill down into 19th. Eckhoff on 23.18. That's certainly going to give her a chance of finishing in the top 10 in the pursuit, but she'll have to shoot well. And let's have a look at the pursuit, Mike, and just assess what sort of race we're going to have. We've got SOUKALOVA and GÖSSNER, who are 30 seconds clear of everyone else at the start, so you would think that the race was going to be between them tomorrow. But in that second group, SKARDINO, SEMERENKO, we've got GWIZDON, HENKEL, VITKOVA, GASPARIN. Is there anyone there that you think can outski SOUKALOVA and GÖSSNER by 30 seconds?
Certainly not in the skiing, but you've got Henkel down there, or potentially going to hit 19-20 out of 20. She's done it so often in the past, and she's only 34 seconds behind, so I think she's going to be a threat. GLAZYRINA, shooting so well this season, potentially another chance for her to move forward, but certainly not in terms of ski time.
Well, Landheim could be joining the top 15. I think she will be joining the top 15. That's a very good shooting performance from her, a real confidence booster, and on a day where the two top Norwegians have let themselves down slightly with the rifle, the youngsters have come through and shone. So Landheim out of the stadium now, 16, 12, 13. She's going to be, what, 45 seconds behind the leaders, but still good enough for that top 15 position. So bags of World Cup points for her. Sleptseva, who's had perhaps the worst shoot of everyone in the prone, well, her position will be far from assured in the Russian team. That's more like it.
That's the Sleptseva that we used to see. Pavel Rovstotsev, he will analyse what happened in that prone shoot. It certainly wasn't a difficult wind conditions. It's been fairly level throughout. And I just wonder if it's a confidence issue with Sleptseva. As soon as you begin to doubt yourself, you have fear through the rifle. Something was definitely going on. But she certainly came back and got those 5 standing, looking a lot more determined and positive.
Well, at the moment, she's not going to get herself a start in the pursuit, so she won't have an opportunity to make up for the mistakes that she's made today. And the Russian team are fairly unforgiving when it comes to selection. If you don't perform well the day before, you're not going to race on the next day. And it's not a case of what your potential is, it's what you've actually produced in recent times.
It is. Look at this. Could the party be spoiled here? Now 30 seconds, it's unlikely. It would have to be an incredibly fast shoot to try and get within 10 seconds of the lead time.
And of course, you've got to take 15 seconds away for the time it takes to get from the firing point to where the timing wand is. Well, she won't be too dissatisfied with that. Sophie Boilly, who's was a very good junior, 4 medals at Junior World Championship level between the years 2009-2010. Comes from Autun, and an area that's produced 1 or 2 top athletes, but she turns right as opposed to left. She's on the penalty loop, just that 1 penalty to pay, and having been in a position to take a top 10, Mike, she's now going to be struggling to make the top 20 because it's so tightly bunched.
Very, very tight, and instead of going straight up the hill and out for your final 2.5, very depressing. Turning right, 150 meters extra. Thomas Kos, he knows these tracks well. When he used to race, he's coaching the Slovenian team, but used to race for the Czech Republic. I'm sure he's delighted with Soukalova's performance, her first ever win.
So the last of the starters, it's Roberta Fiordino of Italy, who really is more consistent in the individual race. The ski speed not her forte. Her shooting generally pretty good.
First time brought into the team this year. She didn't race in Östersund. She hasn't raced in Hochfilzen. Maybe just the first race for her. She has been racing at IBU Cup, but this is a bigger stage. The cameras are here, the music's in the background, the spectators are around the track.
Well, there you see the positions after the second shoot, and there have been a few changes on the way to the finish. SOUKALOVA, though, has hung on to that top spot, but by the slimmest of margins. GÖSSNER only able to close down some 15 seconds of the 17 that she needed to close. So a fantastic day for her. SKARDINO, solid from start to finish. And it's good to see Belarus getting themselves up in the top positions. Well, the fastest on the day, there is no question that Miriam GER had the right skis, the right conditions, the right fitness. Just 2 missed shots, costing her dear. She hit all the prone, 2 misses in the stand. There's no doubt she did not give up at that stage. Don't forget Magdalena Neuner took a long time before she could shoot well enough to have confidence in her shooting. Neuner, I think, was a little better on the skis, Mike, so could make up for 2 mistakes. She would have won today, but GÖSSNER is in the same sort of category as Magdalena Neuner, and if that's the case, she's now got 4 seconds. It won't be long before she gets her first victory. Winner today, Gabriela SOUKALOVA of the Czech Republic. Her previous best before today was 10th position. She did that in Östersund at the beginning of the year. As we said, she's been consistently in the top 15 this season, but she hasn't broken into the top 8 before today, and she suddenly does it in style. First place, 60 World Cup points, and a very healthy Czech to help her on her way for Christmas. So congratulations to her, Gabriela SOUKALOVA, winning here in Pokljuka. Well, this race is just about run. There are 1 or 2 of the later starters still out on the tracks, but no one's got close enough to the current top 3 to threaten those lofty positions. And of course, we have to remind you that the pursuits tomorrow will be based on the results of today. So SOUKALOVA will, for the first time in her career, have the honour of starting a pursuit race. Will she cope with the pressure, or will Miriam GER come past her so quickly that she gives up in the early stages?
Oh, it's going to be a great one anyway, Patrick, and I think that SOUKALOVA will stick with her pace of shooting, which is very, very concentrated. It's not hurried in any way, and GER, well, the way she has been doing her biathlon lately, we'd expect her to shoot quite fast and possibly a little erratic, so it's certainly going to make for one exciting race.
Yeah, it could be great, and I think what we'll find is that GER hits the prone targets and builds herself a lead of maybe up to a minute by the halfway stage of the race, and then as the standing shooting comes along, the nerves might just get to her when she starts to think that elusive win is perhaps coming her way. Well, Landheim can rejoice with the shooting, but she's got work to do on the skis. Definitely, with so few people out on the tracks at the moment, the snow has had a drastic effect. She was only just over a minute off the pace of the leaders at the start of that last 2.5 kilometres, and she's not normally going to give away some 35 seconds over 2.5k.
Well, Landheim looking a little tired there, and well, it's been an intense 3 weeks, a lot of travel, new locations. You have to then get used to the tracks again, especially after 3 very hard races at each location. It's been a tough program. And I was just talking to the Russian coaches, and they're staying down in the Alps. They're having a couple of days off and just moving up the road to Ridnaun, sorry, up into Italy and into Ridnaun, and basing themselves there for Christmas. So there's certainly no going home for the Russians. They're going to keep the training going keep it a good venue and preparing for Oberhof after Christmas.
Sophie Boy hardly has the energy to drive over the top of the hill, and that's where the top athletes will gain valuable seconds. Not only do you gain time as you go over the top of the hill, Mike, but if you can increase your speed by a couple of kilometres per hour at the start of the downhill, you're still going that much faster by the time you get to the bottom.
Oh, it's a big difference. I think you're absolutely right with the snow. There's very much fewer people out on the track. The snow is still falling heavily, so there's not quite the same glide factor as there was mid-race. There's the drop-off. It's quite a tight left-hander down here. And the recovery that you normally get, you have to work on these corners and then straight back up again. Another steep climb.
So World Cup points, really what Boy is after at the moment. And the top 40, remember, all getting World Cup points. I think that's a good move, actually, Mike, because the Tour is so much bigger than it used to be. And sponsors like to see points as a result. And if you can't produce any by the Christmas break, they're likely to lose faith in you.
That is so true. And I'm just thinking, looking at the finish, it's not often that we see an athlete missing 2 targets and placing themselves on the podium. Of course, GÖSSNER missing 2 and in second place.
So Sophie Boy, the penultimate starter, and finishes 1:32 off the pace, 31st position. 9 out of 10 on the range. Has to be happy with that. Well, this snow is forecast to continue to fall throughout the rest of the day, so we could have very snowy conditions for tomorrow's pursuit races. There are the timings: 12:45 and 1800 for the women's pursuit. Take an hour off if you're watching in the UK. And then Sunday, exactly the same. But we have mass starts, the first mass start of the season, and so there will be a big fight to get into the top 30 of the World Cup standings in tomorrow's pursuit, and we'll talk about that as the race unfolds. But what a day for the Czech Republic. Of course, they host the World Championships this year. This is the best possible boost that they could have had pre-Christmas. Gabriela Sokolova winning her first ever Biathlon World Cup. Well done to her.